people like Dave, people like Fredo, people like Ghetts, they actually study music. They take their time.
You are now locked in to Crossover Media.
What's good, y'all? If you're new to the channel, my name is Shadiq, and I actually already did a reaction to this whole album. In the Fire is probably the best song, at least top 2 or 3 songs on that whole project. So make sure you check out my reaction to that, and I did a video explaining my second thoughts about the album and ways in which I thought that it could be better. I'll have both of those come up here in the cards. I saw that Leeds to the VR reacting to this video, and his reaction was 25 minutes. So that just goes to show that this is probably going to be levels above the studio version. So I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it.
Have you been tried with the fire?
This is already something.
Have you been tried with the fire?
I'm not gonna lie, this is already levels. On top of that, I saw that Dave, perfect frame. I saw that Dave actually posted on Instagram that he's only been practicing the guitar for something like 4 to 8 months. I've got the exact range, but it's definitely been less than a year. And I'm enjoying this visual too with the, it looks like it's supposed to be like barbed wire around him.
In the fire. Have you been tried? In the fire, in the fire.
Nah, her voice?
Did you come through as pure gold?
Nah, this is different.
Have you been tried in that fire? I hope bullets sing high.
Ryan, quiet.
Spend a lot of time trapping, now I'm trying to retire. But this shit runs in my blood and I'm the guy they require. But these guns don't bring nothing but prison and death. Still, all my niggas just admire the fire. Bro, squeeze and you miss, but we admire and try.
Finesse kid, you can never
lie to a liar. And Fred got that fire for...
I have to acknowledge that line. Because, first of all, I'm not going to lie, I've barely even experienced this whole thing, and I already know this is going to be one of those moments in, like, British music history. This is going to go down. Like, yeah, this is definitely going to be up there. And honestly, that line is probably, like, top 3 lines on this whole project. Let me know if y'all want me to do a video explaining, like, what I think are, like, the top bars from All Alone in This Together. Let me know if you think that would be interesting. But anyway, we don't get back into this.
Fire, I hope bullets sing high.
Ryan, quiet.
Spend a lot of time trapping, now I'm trying to retire. But this shit runs in my blood and I'm the guy they require. But these guns don't bring nothing but prison and death. Still, all my niggas just admire the fire. Bro, squeeze and he missed, but we admire and try. Finesse kid, you can never lie to a liar. And Fred got that fire for days. I gotta write them in my notes, they'll be igniting the page. Grinding in cold nights, putting light to the flame. Now there's no flame that can melt the ice in my chain.
And it's definitely probably not on purpose, but just the fact that he mentioned the flame and then this angle has the flames right there. Obviously, I've heard the song already, so I'm actually looking for other things in this. Like, I'm already enjoying the fact that they have an actual choir. The way that they chose to arrange the cameras to capture the angles and everything, it's already lit, yo. Again, no pun intended.
Got that fire for days. I gotta write them in my notes, they'll be igniting the page. Grinding in cold nights, putting light to the flame. Now there's no flame that can melt the ice in my chain. I really put the ice and rice for the cane. Me and Santan, you won't see nothing like this again. That's my young boys again on the glide with the flame.
I just really hope your block came with fire escapes.
Before my entrance, I took the fire exit. Tried and tested, about 20 times arrested. 2 times guilty, no comment, I guess they guessed it. Couple times getting no forensics. This a DZ pendant, I don't need a necklace. We stay protected and connected, is the end.
Wait, hold on. And this is why it's good to do reactions. There's something about doing a reaction that makes things sync a little bit differently. He said, before the entrance, I took the fire exit. I don't know if I'm bugging, if I'm reaching, but it sounds like he could be saying, like, he didn't enter through the main way. He broke in through the fire exit, right? So he's pretty much saying, like, before I went through the legitimate way, I had to go through things the other way. If that's not what he's saying, then I don't care. I'm jacking that that's the actual interpretation. But yeah, that's actually a clever way to say it, if that is what he's saying. Now that I'm really thinking about it.
Came with fire escape.
Before my entrance, I took the fire exit. Tried and tested, about 20 times arrested. 2 times, getting no comment, I guess they guessed it. Couple times, getting no forensics. This a DZ pendant, I don't need a necklace. We stay protected and connected, it's the energies I'm blessed with. And now they're watching like Netflix. How me doing next shit, trying to get rich, but what's rich? Took more losses than...
Put some respect on that choir, dog. Because they're actually doing this justice. And I think we need to really give them credit. We really need to give them credit because a song like this has so many layers to it. So everybody has to play their position. It isn't just like when you play the instrumentals in the back. I actually saw somebody make a tweet about this, right? Like how more artists should actually have live bands. I think it was in response to the fact that Ghetts did a live performance of his whole album with actual band people, right? There's actual musicians and stuff playing the instrumentals, right? So I think that that's something that we have to give some credit to. I don't think we really acknowledge on like the broad spectrum of the fact that takes some levels. You feel me? To put everything together, place people in the right place. Yeah.
Easy pendant, I don't need a necklace. We stay protected and connected, it's the energies I'm blessed with. And now they're watching like Netflix. How me doing next shit, trying to get rich, but what's rich? Took more losses than Boris. I sold more boxes than the post office. 21 in jail, it took me so solid. Why you think my vision's sick? I changed the game in my brain and so robotic. If you fell in my fire, you probably roast on it. Heat up the stove and put hope on it. Cause they don't care about our lives, I put my soul on it. I'm done trying to be somebody to some nobody.
Here comes one of the best verses in rap history.
Fire burning when I'm watching higher learning. Guns busting, tigers turning, that's a Russian in a German. That's your fault.
That wasn't what I was expecting. Because in the studio version, the yes was a lot more pronounced and it was more, like a bit more exaggerated. So the fact that it was a little bit more subtle, yeah, that was a genuine reaction on me, by the way. Like that really caught me off guard. It sent a different kind of chill down my spine. I wasn't expecting that.
Somebody to some nobodies. I'm being so honest, and they don't know Paris.
Fire burning when I'm watching higher learning. Guns busting, tigers turning, that's a Russian in a German. That's your phone ringing, you can hear the beat. You won't be saved by the bell when you hear the screech, and it's so deep. Open ocean. This man escaping some shells they can barely see. Making bro raising hell, we gon' share the heat. They put us in the same cell, we gon' share the sleep. I'm my brother's keeper, it's deeper. I'm my brother's leader, speaker. I'm the eldest, the one that had to make a name so the bells ring. So nobody would trouble my siblings in this whirlwind. My older cousin wasn't known for nothing. Never had no one I could call, so I was holding something. I'm thinking deep with this tool like I'm going plumbing. Something in your chest like it's Robitussin.
You know what's cool about that bar? The fact that he had a similar line in his Fire in the Booth that I didn't really, well, it wasn't even in the booth in the desert, but I didn't realize it while I was reacting, or maybe I was, but the fact that this was released within relative proximity to that Fire in the Booth, Fire in the Desert, whatever, and it has that line. Sometimes I like those kind of moments where it's almost like the artist is self-referential, right? That may or may not be on purpose. I may be reaching. Maybe he just wrote some of these verses around the same time, so some of the things were kind of in his head in terms of the elements, but he did have something like that in the Fire in the Desert, Fire in the Booth, whatever. But yeah, anyway.
The one that had to make a name so the bells ring, so nobody would trouble my siblings in this whirlwind. My older cousin wasn't known for nothing, never had no one I could call, so I was holding something. I'm thinking deep with this tool like I'm going plumbing, something in your chest like it's Robitussin. Word to arsonist, I burned all this. I stood in front of all 3 dragons and heard your chorus.
I'm not gonna hold you. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I didn't catch that line when he first said it. But when I actually looked into why that's such a bar, son, man, I stood in front of all 3 of the dragons.
I'm thinking deep with this tool like I'm going plumbing, something in your chest like it's Robitussin. Word to arsonist, I burned all this. I stood in front of all 3 dragons and heard your chorus. Now we're jumping out of G-Wagons and murking
this man's mic
man are coming out with
has knuckles on
dancing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I uplift my girl like I'm Swayze in the water. And if it's already written, maybe I'm the author so accustomed.
Nah. We gotta take this choir in. We gotta take the choir in.
Man are coming out with these bangers and dirty dancing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I uplift my girl like I'm Swayze in the water. And if it's already written, maybe I'm the author so accustomed to the fire. I get shivers when I'm naked in the sauna. How? Many times have they mistaken me for scorcher. Now I'm looking in the mirror saying Justin, just call her. Say ghetto downstairs and tell him just bring me water. And tell Ghetts I put something in the formula. I'm focused, I don't need to burn the kush. This is Moses speaking to the burning bush.
I don't know if it's on purpose, but at this point, I'm listening to things now a little bit differently because I'm reacting to it. But now I know that the Just Kuna is actually it's just Caribbean slang, so it's probably not an actual reference to like him giving a juxtaposition against fire. No, just cool, and he said get the water. I don't know. I could be reaching. By the end of the day, it's also Ghetts, so you almost never really know with certain things that he's saying. But if that isn't on purpose, it's still dope. The fact that he has that contrasting element. Just Cool Nah, which is again a Caribbean kind of thing that you say, but talk the songs about fire. Just Cool Nah, Get the Water. But anyway.
Pretty written, maybe I'm the author, so accustomed to the fire. I get shivers when I'm naked in the sauna. How? Many times that they're mistaking me for scorching. Now I'm looking in the mirror saying Justin, just corner. Say Ghetto downstairs and tell him just bring me water. And tell Ghetts I put something in the formula. I'm focused, I don't need to burn the kush. This is Moses speaking to the burning bush. I stood in front of the fire and learned to cook. Finished my verse and never heard a hook.
Riskiest numbers, this jungle, still for your youngers. He's hungry, picked up the fungus. Kept humble, slipped him 100. Yeah, lived in the dungeon. Those air mats which stung them. You can't walk in my shoes. You could be risking a bunion. The government's twisted, I cover this ship to cover this Christmas. Forget them old friends, I'm done with those pictures. They color coded, my brothers and sisters. Run the river, your brother, but you running with him. Try accusing me of colorism.
You know, it's something about Giggs, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. Giggs is one of those artists where you can't introduce people to UK artists by introducing them to Giggs. He has a novelty that you kind of have to already have an appreciation for UK music to be able to appreciate what Giggs does on tracks. His flows are so simplistic, but at the same time having moments that actually are a bit layered. And I'm not gonna hold you. Like, we really do have to put some respect on Giggs. I can understand why some people may not be crazy about him. I definitely can. I get it, but I also can recognize why, over the years, he really has developed such a strong reputation and why he is deemed pretty much a legend. But also, peep how after they all performed, they were just sitting in the corner. It is, I just did my thing. I'm gonna link up in the locker room type settings.
Can't walk in my shoes. You could be risking a bunion. The government's twisted, I cover this ship to cover this Christmas. Forget them old friends, I'm done with those pictures. They color coded, my brothers and sisters. Run the river, your brother, but you running with him. Try accusing me of colorism. Blinded cause you look at me with tunnel vision. I was falling, but I've gone and risen. Is this trusty or sideshow Bob when he's creeping on crusty? Streets keep me tossing, people disgust me. Race is disease that disgusts me. Don't touch me in the streets with a sweeper, for the streets pretty dusty. And I've always got love for genuine people that bust me.
And I actually just realized this. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, but well, first of all, the fact that Dave took off that thing, he's probably, he's about to go off on his performance. If that's actually not a goal, that's insane. But I could be wrong, but I think that was the only time I heard somebody censor themselves while performing this, right? When you listen to it without the censors, you don't really notice when people are cursing. But something that I've realized, or you can tell the difference between artists that actually take their time with their pen, because they don't just use random curses, just filler words. You can tell sometimes people just cursing this for the sake of like filling up the bar. Right, it's not even necessarily used to actually even accentuate a particular point. They're just cursing to curse. If I'm right, and there really wasn't any curses up until that point when Giggs censored himself because this was a live performance, that just goes to show you the levels of these people's pen. They didn't have to do that. They had very intentional decisions with every single word that they put, every single line. Yeah, levels.
Santan and the gang advisor, I'ma check him out, I'ma analyze her. She was calling me an antagonizer, let me sanitize, where's the sanitizer? Just flutter by, he said, Giggs, can you handle this? He said, float like a butterfly. I bring truth, but they love a lie. Plans on the man, they should run a by.
Yeah, in a fight, been tried, affected the way I've been wired inside. You can hide or glide. I could have been deported. That's the definition of a fight or flight. You can type who you like. I know about homeless, immigration. It took me from my mum's arms, spun a gun charge, 2 swords, I'm a rolling. Blaszczykowski, I'm trying to score with the Polish. Pain in my eyes, plans of me staying in a guy with a vision of this change in my life. Crimes on the rise, hate's on the rise. Feel like everything but my mum's pain's on the rise. Did you come through? That's the question. Affording a burner was never man's problem. Adoption, we couldn't find home to the weapons.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not ashamed to say that's one of the lines that only like really sat with me, like relatively recent. I don't remember if I physically reacted to that when Frank and I reacted to the whole album, but that particular line, it's just something about it that it just recently really sank in. Man said adoption, we couldn't find a home for the weapon. Like, again, those little things, son. It makes you appreciate the fact that it takes these artists a good minute to drop songs. If you really deep it, all of these people in this performance are the kind of people who take a good minute to release new music. They don't just release music willy-nilly. If you really, really deep it, like, these are the kind of artists that it makes sense why it takes so long for them to release. Because every time they do, it's actual levels. Man.
Blaszczykowski, I'm trying to score with the Polish. Pain in my eyes. Plans of me staying in a guy with a vision of this change in my life. Crimes on the rise. Haze on the rise. Feel like everything but my mom's pays on the rise. Did you come through? That's the question. Affording a burner was never man's problem. Adoption, we couldn't find home to the weapons. By the station, we got polls, no election, and the fire been tested. Before I had...
Is that another line that I'm only now catching? Or is it just because I'm like in reaction mode that things hit me different? Man said we had polls, no election. Now, I feel like we probably be reacting to that while doing the album reaction. But yeah, that's one of those lines that doesn't matter how many times you hear it, it's gonna slap you.
Weapons by the station, we got polls, no election, and the fire been tested. Before I had money, it was time I invested. Nothing changed, still time I invested. Watch game delicate, Tutankhamun, there's money and skeletons. All I gotta do is point, they're gonna sever his head and tell that we're better as friends. Nights that I can't remember with some people I can never forget. Casa Cruz, we're better than Shrek. Don't make me call a young gunner on the back of a pen. Slapping the neck, civilians grabbing your friends. There's chaos on the man.
Yeah, we really have to put some respect on all of them because they switch up their flows at the drop of a dime. And that's something that, like, I meant to point out earlier, but like they all do it very subtly. Like, it's like you just listening, you in the zone, and you just realize, oh wait, the flow just changed. Levels.
Invested. Watch game delicate, Tutankhamun, there's money and skeletons. All I gotta do is point, they're gonna sever his head.
Knew the sense and stuff,
that we're better as friends. Nights that I can't remember with some people I can never forget. Casa Cruz, we're better than Shrek. Don't make me call a young
In case you ain't know, I gave this a 10.
Slapping the leg, civilians grabbing your friends. There's chaos on the main road, it's all choppers and tents. All because of some shit you said. I got killers with me, and they love me. They make a man's heart stop. You find horrifying, get laughed off. I'm like Meekz, bro. Won't stop, can't stop. Yeah, it's kinda different when the fires really start, bro.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I gave this a 10 in case you didn't know. This is obvious. It's obviously a 10. I even have to do a breakdown. Like, it's a perfect song. Wait, hold on, hold on. When did he find the time to put that on? Cause there's a little bit of equipment going on. It looks like he had something on his back. Yo, these cameras, yo, setting you up. You have no idea. They zoomed out. Yeah, it's all that time. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, he had mad time to go. Yeah, it makes sense. He's only just learning how to play the guitar, y'all. It's crazy. Why not flex some crazy effects? There's no reason to have all that on. Now, you know why this is levels? I have to pull this back. Because one, on my way home from class, yeah, deadass Dave, that's how I'm reacting to this too. On my way back from class, I'm actually filming this after commuting back home from school, right? From my night classes. I was listening to some metal, like some throwback songs that I hadn't listened to in a while. Because one of my friends posted some Killswitch Engage in his story. And I was just like, damn, like I really haven't been listening to metal like I used to. But Dave is the kind of person, he's really a student of music. Like, he really sits down and, again, takes his time with his music, but he's actually dedicated to the craft of music. The rappers who are primarily known for drill, like, they just get on the beat, they speak in their crud or whatever, but people like Dave, people like Fredo, people like Ghetts, they actually study music. They take their time, and that's just really the best way to describe it. Like, they really put intentional effort into every single thing that they do. And now we know the next album that Dave does, he's probably going to be playing the guitar now. So we're used to him playing the piano, now we're about to get a whole nother vibe from him. Gotta respect it. I know they hot though. I know they was feeding to take them gowns off. And they all just watching him like, yeah, this man is. I knew it. I knew there had to be some nonsense going on. I knew it because I was like, he had too much strapped up on him. There's about to be some fire. And this is what separates Dave from your favorite artist, if he isn't your favorite. And this is what separates Dave from everybody else. The man had a flamethrower on his guitar. I can't wait to see Dave live again. I cannot wait to see Dave live again, yo. This is definitely one of those, it's going down in history. Like, somebody else had tweeted it, and they said, like, he could have chosen any song to do for this, but he chose the song with the most features. He chose to put everybody else on with him for this performance, to get everybody on that stage and make this a moment. Listen, man, I don't really have much to say about this one. As I already said earlier, when I reacted to this before, I'm pretty sure I gave it a 10. It deserves a 10. Everything about this is a masterpiece. They all brought their own unique flavors to it and all that. Listen, man, I don't got nothing else to say. If you don't think this is a 10, that sounds like a you problem. Take it up with whoever you pray to. But as always, hang tight for some more reactions. Do more. Let's come up. Until next time, peace.